Hello everyone, back to the channel. So in today's video, we will install WordPress on Ubuntu 24.4 LTS using web server as a Nginx, database server as a MariaDB and PHP with the latest version that is 8.3. So first understand what is WordPress. WordPress is a free and open source content management system that allows users to create websites, blogs, online stores. To run the WordPress, we use the PHP that is nothing but used for functionality. And for a database server, it uses the MariaDB or a MySQL. And for a web server, it uses the Nginx. So with its vast collection of themes and plugins, WordPress is highly recommended and customizable, and it also making the popular choice for beginners and as well as professional developers. So let's discuss the prerequisites. So you have to create AWS account with the Ubuntu 24.4 LTS as a EC2 instance. Then you have to create a non-root user with the sudo privileges. So let's start with the first step. That is, our first step is update the system packages on Ubuntu 24.4 LTS. So before installing any software, you have to update your system packages. So to update the packages, we have to use the sudo, that is a command administrator, and with the help of apt package manager, we will update the system packages on a putty terminal. So now we will move to the next step. So our system packages are updated. Now we will install the web server, that is Nginx, to perform on Ubuntu 24.4 LTS. WordPress uses the web server as a Nginx. So to install, we will use apt package manager to install the web server, that is Nginx. So our Nginx web server is installed. Now we will start our Nginx web service. For that, we will use systemctl command line tool to start the Nginx web service. After start, we have to enable our Nginx web service with the help of systemctl command line tool. Now we will check the status as Nginx web service is started or running on our system. So here you can see it shows active running and a service is also enabled. So we will have successfully installed our web server, that is Nginx. Now we will check the default welcome page of Nginx. So for that we have to open our web browser, that is Chrome. Then in that we have to write http :// and we have to paste our public IPv4 address of EC2 instance. Copy from here, then paste into web browser. Then here you can see welcome to the Nginx. So this is the default page of Nginx web server. So we have successfully installed Nginx web server. Now we will move to the next step. That is, we have to install database server, that is MariaDB. To store the data, WordPress uses the MariaDB or MySQL database server. So for this task, we use the MariaDB database server to store the data. For that, we will use apt package manager to install the MariaDB database server. we have to press Y to proceed. So same as Nginx web server we have started. We have to start our MariaDB database server as well with the help of systemctl command line tool. After start, we have to enable our MariaDB database server with the help of systemctl. Now we will check the status that MariaDB database server is active or enabled. So this is here shows that it is active and it also running, and status is also present here that taking your SQL request now. Now we will send the request to the database. For that we have to create the database first. We will see that. So here you can see MariaDB service enabled. So we have successfully installed our MariaDB database server. Now we will move to the next step. So here our step 4, that is we have to create the WordPress database. For that we have to first log into our MariaDB database with the help of root user. Using root user we can log in a MariaDB database. So here you can see the message that is welcome to the MariaDB monitor, and it also shows the server version and shows the on Ubuntu, that is our 24.4 LTS. Now we will create the database to store our WordPress data. So here this query for creating the database, that is create database, and you have to mention the name for a database. So I mention my WordPress database name as a WordPress. You can mention as per your choice. So query, okay, one row affected. So our database WordPress is created. Now we will create user for a database and with the help of password. So here the query is create user, that is username we have to mention. The username is also WordPress I mentioned. You can mention any name, and identified by password, that is you have to provide the strong password to the user. So I will copy this query and paste into MariaDB shell. So our user is created. Now we will apply some privileges to the user. Now to make the changes, we have to flush the privileges to apply the every modification which we will provide for a user. Now we will exit from our database, that is MariaDB database server. So note that you will all query is end with a semicolon, because this is the MySQL rule that every command or every query is end with a semicolon. So mention that. So all database related activities for WordPress website that are completed. Now we will move to the next step. So after database server, we have to install now PHP. So PHP, the latest version is 8.3. With the help of required extensions, we will install the PHP in our system. With the help of apt package manager. Now to proceed, we have to Type yes. Now we will check the version of PHP with the help of PHP -v. So you can see here PHP 8.3, that is the latest version of PHP, is installed. Now we will move to the next step. So our PHP and MariaDB and web server, that is Nginx, is successfully installed. Now we will download our WordPress. So first we have to move to the web directory where our WordPress is downloaded. We have to download. So we will move first web to web directory. After moving, now we will install the WordPress. So wget, it is the command line tool we use to download the files from internet, and this is the download link for WordPress, that is https://wordpress.org, and the compressed file, that is latest tar.gz. So we will install WordPress with the help of sudo. Here you can see with the help of percentile, it shows how much file is downloaded. So it requires some time to install the WordPress. Here you can see 100%, that is our compressed file is 100% downloaded. Now we will extract that file with the help of xvzf, I will show you the command, that is sudo tar xvzf, and our compressed file name, that is tar.gz. So tar, it is the command which is used for uh, downloaded the archive files, and xvzf, so x means extract the content, v means it shows the extraction progress, and z means it tells the tar to use the g zip compression, that is tar.gz is a compressed file. So f, it is the latest tar.gz, specifies the file name to extract. So this command extracts the WordPress file from the latest .tar.gz into the current directory. So for that we will use this command to extract our WordPress compressed file. So after extraction, we will remove that compressed file to save the space. For that we will use the rem. So space is free now to install new software. Now we will change the ownership to the of WordPress file. So using sudo chown, that is change owner, it modifies the file ownership. So -r, it changes the recursively to all files and subdirectories. So www data, it sets the owner and group to the www data. So first www data, it is the owner, and second www data, it is the group. So this is the default user and group used by the Nginx or Apache web server. Now, where www HTML WordPress, it is the installation directory for WordPress. We have to change that ownership from default to the original, now current directory. Now, next. So chmod, it is the change mode that it modifies the file permission. So -r, that is, it applies the changes recursively to all files and subdirectories. So where www.html WordPress, it is our installation directory for WordPress. So 755. So first 7, it is the owner that have the permission to read, write, and execute the file content, and next is 5. So it is the group and it have the permission to read and execute. Then next is 5 for others, that public users, they have the permission that is read and execute the file content. For that we have to provide the file permission of WordPress file. So this ensures the WordPress files are readable by the web browser or web server while preventing the unauthorized modification. So after running this command, WordPress is properly extracted and its permissions are also correctly set for a web server. Now we will move to the next step. So our step 7 is configure Nginx for WordPress on Ubuntu 24.4 LTS. So we will configure our Nginx file. For that, there is a path etc Nginx sites available. Our Nginx configuration file name is wordpress.conf. We will open that file with the help of nano. So nano, it is used to modify any file. Now we will copy the content. So here the content is present. So Nginx configuration listens the port that is 80 to handle the incoming HTTP request. So we have to mention the server name, that is our public IPv4 address of EC2 instance we have to mention. Then the root directive, that it defines the document root as a, we have mentioned the path of our WordPress, that is installation directory. Then index.php and index.html, these are the default files to access when we access the site. Then location. So this block ensures that requested files are served directly if they are exist. Otherwise, the requested are forwarded to the index.php files. Then PHP. This block is responsible for handling the PHP files. Then snippets. That line loads the standard fast CGI settings for PHP accessing. Now we will copy this content and paste in our configuration file. So here yes is not copied. Now we will paste our actual IPv4 address. I will copy from my AWS account. Now To come back from this file, we have to exit. So Control X. Then we have to save this code. So press Y, then enter. So we will come back to our Qt terminal. Now our next command is sudo ln and our file name, that is Nginx configuration file, that is WordPress conf, we have to enable. So ln, it creates the symbolic link, that is shortcut between two files. So this command ensures that Nginx recognize your WordPress configuration. So we will do this. Now we will remove the default Nginx page, that is welcome to the Nginx server. We have to remove. Now we will test our configuration, Nginx configuration. Here you can see syntax is okay and our test is also successful. So means our configuration is successful for Nginx. Now we will move to the next step. First we restart our Nginx server. To apply the changes. So our Nginx is restarted. Now we will connect our WordPress to the database. For that we will use this command. So WordPress provides the sample configuration file, that is sample.php. So we need to copy it and rename to that is WordPress wp config.php. For that we will use cp to copy. Now we have to edit our default wp config file. For that we will use nano to open the file. Here you can see configuration file, and here we have to change our database details, that is database name. So we have to remember all the name, that is database name, and as well as username, and you have to remember the password as well. So my database name is WordPress and the username is also same, that is WordPress. And I mentioned the password as a strong password. Now our host is localhost. So I will run this application on my machine. So I keep it as a localhost. So we have to change only database name, database user, and database password. Now we will exit the file. For that we have to press Ctrl X. Then we have to save this code. So press Y, then enter. Now our all the steps are completed. Now we will see in a browser that we have installed our WordPress. So we will check. So open the web browser. In that, we have to type HTTP colon // and we have to provide our public IPv4 address. So you can see this is the setup for a WordPress, and you have to select the preferred language. So I select the English, then I click on a continue button. So here the default welcome page is present to create the website. So we have to provide some information. So I provide my site name as a my website. I provide username as a admin and password. I will copy this password for a login. So I provide the email ID. Then we have to click on a install WordPress button. So here you can see WordPress has been installed. So we have to log in with the credential. So click on login. Now I paste the password. So my username I set as a admin. So click on login. Here you can see the dashboard, that is default page of a welcome page of WordPress, that is welcome to the WordPress. So we will install our WordPress on Ubuntu 24.4 LTS. So we have successfully installed WordPress on Ubuntu 24.4 LTS using Nginx web server, MariaDB database, and PHP 8.3, that is latest version. So we covered the setting up necessary packages and configure the database. We also download the WordPress and we set up the Nginx web server. And after the completing installation, we will access the WordPress dashboard and start building a website. So here you can see the post, media, and plugins you can install and make your website very creative and more readable and attractive. So we have successfully installed. So our this task is completed. Thank you.